Well, good morning, our beloveds. We have done 2 recordings that our another has chosen not to transcribe yet. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. She's just not really inspired by them, and she has told us that she is going to set clearer, healthier boundaries for herself with us as well, because it is her life, it is her journey. And here is her story. This is exactly what we have been desiring. She has allowed us to control much of her life too during this surrender experiment, adventure experiment to hell and back, let's be honest. And we are now going to teach her how to integrate what she has learned into her own physical body. When you have experienced what she has, which she's not permitted to speak about now, and she holds us to this standard as well, because she does not wish to lose her daughter, it is her approach to healing which is highly unique. She gave away her power to someone outside of herself, and it didn't really serve her well. And so then she gave us the power to help her to right her wronged paths, if you will, to teach her to become resilient, to become courageous, to become steadfast in her own journey. And she is doing a fantabulous job of it. However, one thing that we wish to do is to have her stand on her own 2 feet more and less on us. We have written many messages for her in the past. We have channeled many messages for her in the past because she does not trust her own voice, because in her youth, in her childhood, she was taught that her voice did not matter. The voices of others were what mattered. And how do you overcome that? Well, it is a very slow journey. You cannot just simply say one day, I don't believe in this anymore. That is not how it works. This belief system was and continues to be so ingrained and integrated and entrained in our own cellular data that when a situation arises, this pre-programmed data tells her what to think, what to feel, what to say, how to act, how to a certain extent, even perceive the entire situation or circumstance. When you are taught that you are nothing at birth because your birth father tells you that you are nothing and he walks away from you and tells you that he has no fatherly feelings for you, you learn that you don't matter. Your father, your Abba Father doesn't matter. And that this is all that you deserve out of life. And when this is all that you know and all that you believe, how do you make good choices? How do you ever make choices that serve and honor you? Instead of seeking the validation, the love, the accommodation, and the respect and appreciation of anyone else. It is not possible. You seek for validation outside of yourselves. And this is where many women and many men are at right now. How their childhood taught them that they must seek validation and accommodation outside of themselves. How do you change a lifelong belief and construct that this is how the universe works? Now overlay this with the Judeo-Christian belief that you as a woman, or that you as a human, deserve to be better when This belief system tells you that your reward will be received in heaven, that you must suffer the consequences of being born a sinner here on Mother Earth. When that is what you are taught and what you believe, how do you know to trust in and believe in a loving divine creator who loves you as a loving Abba Father does? Many men are taught to teach their children not to feel, that boys are not permitted to cry because that is not manly. When this is how you have been raised, how do you make good choices about yourself as well as the treatment and respect of others? It is a universal belief that you are not loved because you do not feel like you are loved because of your experiences. What you call love is judgmental love, critical love, societally accepted love, but it certainly is not unconditional love. If you do, I will love you. If you don't, I won't. If you do behave as I expect, I will love you. If you don't, then I won't. If you do stay healthy and behave like an active workhorse, I will love you. If you don't, I won't. If you do as I say, I will love you. If you don't, then I won't. If you believe as I do, I will love you. If you don't, then I won't. If you act like you are expected to, then I will love you. If you don't, then I won't. You will behave as I expect you to. You will do as I expect you to. You will say what I expect you to. You will treat me as I expect you to. This is the culture. Look at your judicial system. If you do not give your judge honor, you will be thrown in jail for contempt of court. If you do not behave as you're expected to, the police officer may shoot you or may incarcerate you because you did not give him the respect. What gives these people the honor? Your culture, your norm. It is so entrained, ingrained, and structured within not only your belief system, but your societal structure. So how do you all break out of this when not only is it your belief system, but your neighbors and the cities and the communities and the states and the countries and the worlds, that you somehow need to be under the control of the patriarchy? Look at what your governments are doing now. They're telling you what to do and how to do it. And you do it, and some of you don't. And for those of you who don't, you are ostracized. You are punished. This is the collective lesson that we are taking you all through. And in some ways, you are failing miserably because you are abdicating critical thinking for group thought. And it is fine because this is your collective lesson, but trust us when we tell you. It is coming, it is coming, it is coming. There will be a crash and a burn of the patriarchy, and anything and everything that you have built upon that will crumble. So for those of you who are like-minded with our another, continue to envision and dream into a place, this new world. And not into place, but into a place. Where do you want to build this? Just collectively out there in the ether? Or do you want to build it in your community? Build it into a place where it has a place to land. Find where your belief system still supports this patriarchal structure, where even those of you who are spiritual are shaming those who are daring to stand up against this enslavement with you know what that is occurring right now. Find where your belief system is enslaving you and others once again. It is an energy on the spiral that we wish for you all, the collective, to finally break out of. Love those who see the world differently than you, even where your fears are so great that you personally will be harmed. Love and trust your neighbor enough to make the choice that is right for him or her or for they. Does this make sense? It is not a him or her. It is a they. You are all an expression of masculine divinity and divine femininity. Does this make sense? You all find yourselves at different places within the spectrum, and depending upon what the particular issue is, you are more of the divine feminine or the masculine divinity. Does this make sense? Allow people to find their expression of self during this cataclysmic time. Do not punish, do not enforce unjust, unkind, unloving, divisive policies. Even though you know what is right for you, continue to fight for the right for others to decide for themselves. If you don't, we forewarn the Hitler energy that none of you appreciate, love, respect, or wish to ever see played out again will once again come upon you. This is a warning. We forewarn those of you who are in the spiritual world, yet hold the atrocious behavior of the patriarchy as it relates to what you all are experiencing now. Shame on you is what we say. Shame on you for knowing what love feels like and shaming others for not being what you expect them to be. Shaming has no place in the future world that we are going to. And so shame on you is not what we say. Shame on you is what your own karma will tell you for being divisive in this time where we are asking you to unify. A needle does not unite and heal the world. Unconditional love does. We do not like these harsh messages, or another does not like them, as this is a vibration that she is really moving out of. But sometimes it is important. Look at her message, her post today of a community where only women are permitted. Why is it that the women have to create a village where no men are permitted, and at 18 they are ostracized and kicked out? It is because the patriarchy hurts them and it harms them. But wouldn't it be lovely if you all could create a world, a village, a community where all are welcome because all are entrained to behave and act out of love? That is where we are trying to get you, but your divisive attacks on one another are keeping you out of the vibration of love. So this will probably be our last warning like this of what is to come, because it is not a vibration that we even like to channel on, because it is not a vibration of love. It is a vibration of warning, which has a different predictor in it. But it is in the field. It is in the field, and we wish to warn you all that the shame that you put out there is going to come back onto you. And for those of you in the spiritual community who are really spiritual, we ask you to step out of this divisive nature. It is intentionally created to harm you more than anybody else, and it is your bright light that is needed more than anybody else right now to help the universe transition into this patriarchal free experience. But if you continue to hold on to that, if you continue to hold on to that vibration of divisiveness, you will carry it through your dreaming, through your belief systems into this golden age. And we know you don't want it, but don't be surprised if it continues to exist. If you continue to hold on to this way of being. It is your choice and only your choice to create what follows you into this new realm and what doesn't. So don't make the jab be a divisive, dividing factor that continues to hold you in this vibration of hatred and fear. If it doesn't feel like love, it's not. It is not. And that is it. We shall leave it today. It is not the same loving vibration that we normally send through, but when you see a tsunami coming upon humanity, you warn them and you tell them to prepare and to lock themselves up, because what's coming is not going to feel good. So that is it.